Live from the Globe Studios, it's election night. My name is Alyssa McDonald.
And I'm Kate Boddicker. For the next 30 minutes, we'll be bringing you up-to-date results from the polls for all your local elections.
This election year is a big one with not only the presidential seat up for election, but a number of state and local seats as well. And I feel as though the ballot was especially long this year.
Not only is this a big election year, but it's also the first time that the Globe has gone live over YouTube and the radio station at the same time.
You're absolutely right, Kate, and we are very excited to bring you coverage of all the local races that the bigger networks may not pay attention to.
We'll have a list of all the races we'll be watching. Colin Eccles will come in and talk about past voting and some trends that we've seen.
We'll have information of what issues voters care about and how the polls looked earlier today.
And Alyssa sat down with a poll worker to chat about what it's like behind the scenes.
But first, let's turn our attention to the local elections, and we'll give you the rundown of who is running for what across the state. In the race for U.S. Senator, current Senator Mike Braun is running for governor, so there will be a new face no matter what. The candidates are Republican Jim Banks, Democrat Valerie McRae, and Libertarian Andrew Horning. And from the results, it does look like Jim Banks currently leads with 59% of the votes.
In the close race for governor, there's former Republican Senator Mike Braun, Democrat, Jennifer McCormick, who used to be a Republican before she joined the Democratic Party, and Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater.
In the race for Attorney General, you have Republican incumbent Todd Rokita and Democrat Destiny Wells, and it looks like Todd Rokita is leading that vote by 60%.
Turning to U.S. Representative for District 2, you have Republican incumbent Rudy Yocum, Democrat Lori A. Camp, and Libertarian William E. Henry. Currently, Yocum is leading those results as we stand now.
Turning our attention to the Indiana House of Representatives in District 21, which includes Wakarusa, Napanee, parts of Mishawaka, Osceola, and Elkhart. There is incumbent Republican Timothy Wesco, who's been in office since 2010, and Libertarian Melissa Kaufman.
Looking more local now, there are 3 at-large seats open for the county council. Candidates include several incumbents, such as Republican Adam Bujalski, Republican Stephen Clark, Republican Thomas Stump, and some new faces in Democrat Kevin Peters and Democrat Ralph Spellberg.
There's lots of school board seats open all over the county. First, for the Elkhart Community Schools at-large seat, you have Eric Ivory and Anna M. Vondervellen.
Staying with Elkhart Community Schools, at-large seat for District D, it's between Daisy Davis and Marvin T. Pace Sr.
The Goshen Community Schools School Board in District 2 has 1 seat, Brandon Quint Miller and Jimmy Vung Srun.
Goshen Community Schools School Board District 4 has 1 seat open between Keith Goodman, Linda S. Hartman, and Lisa H. Letterock.
2 seats are open for the Concord Community School Board. Candidates are Tim Coons, Stacy McDowell, and Tim Yoder.
Looking at the Waunee Community Schools School Board at large, there's 2 seats available between Christina Eshelman, Sean C. Johnson, and David R. Kaufman. And lastly, for Middlebury Community Schools School Board District B, you have Cindy Stalter-Nistley and Michael E. Mike Varner.
Kate, that was a lot to go through this election season. There are more than 70 different names on the Elkhart County ballot, and that's not including judicial retention and the public question.
With so many races to look at, we've brought our very own Colin Eccles to help us make some sense of what might be happening. Based on historic trends and data from this year, Colin, take us through what you think is likely to occur.
Thanks, guys. Let me take you through the history of some of these elections. Looking first at the Senate race, polls predicted a close race between Republican Jim Banks and Democrat Valerie McRae. Historically, while Republicans have held the majority of the Senate seats in Indiana, there have been 3 Democrats since 1986, the last one being Joe Donnelly, who served from 2013 to 2019. Current Senator Mike Braun won the 2018 election by a close margin with 50.9% of the votes. Braun won Elkhart County with a commanding 57% of the vote, with almost 10,000 votes separating him and runner-up Democrat Joe Donnelly. With no incumbent running in this race, it will be one to keep an eye on. Turning our attention to the race for governor, there hasn't been a Democratic governor since 2000. Current Governor Republican Eric Holcomb can't run again as he's reached his term limit. In Indiana, governors can serve a 4-year term and run for re-election, but a governor can't serve more than 8 years in any 12-year period. That's all to say that Eric Holcomb has used his 8 years. During his election in 2019, Holcomb won Elkhart County with 62% of the vote. Lastly, looking at the race for U.S. Representative District 2, incumbent Rudy Yakum has a good chance of winning another term in office. In 2022, he won with 64.6% of the votes. The last time a Democrat served District 2 was in 2010. That wraps up some of the history behind earlier elections, and we can see some patterns starting to emerge. Alyssa, Kate, simply looking at the past elections, I would expect a clean sweep for the Republican Party tonight in these three races. This is Colin Eccles. Alyssa, Kate, back to you.
Colin, thanks for giving us that context around some of that background. And Kate, with how red Indiana usually is, it was interesting to see some Democrats in recent years that have managed to win seats in some of these larger elections.
Yeah, you're right, Alyssa. It just goes to show that you never really know what to expect going into election night, and really anything can happen.
After a break, we've got our first set of election results, and we sent our team of reporters to polling sites to see just how busy they were on election day and what issues are the most important to Hoosiers. That's up next on Globe News Election Edition.
Do you dream of a place to belong, to begin your journey, and to believe in something bigger than yourself? A place where you aren't lost in the crowd, but are part of the team. Communication professionals are in high demand, and Goshen College will give you the tools and hands-on experience to transform your passions into a rewarding career. Begin your journey in journalism and be an agent of change at the best college newspaper in the state of Indiana, The Record. Begin a filmmaking profession with 5 Core Media and work on Emmy-winning productions that propel graduates to Hollywood and beyond. And take our semester in LA program to get a jump start in the industry. Spark your passion as a public relations major, one of the fastest growing professions in the country. Begin a rewarding broadcasting career at 91.1 The Globe, the best college radio station in the nation. Be a DJ, host TV shows, and broadcast live sports. Believe in yourself and make it possible at Goshen College.
Hi, my name is Sunitha Millsaps. I am the Executive Director for the Center for Community Engagement here at Goshen College. At Goshen College, we equip our students for the future. We believe in the power of education. We believe in creating community. Our Center for Community Engagement bases itself on 3 core values. These values include a college-going mindset, reciprocal partnerships, and community-engaged learning. These promote meaningful experiences between students, faculty, and members of the community. Through our summer camps, we give young students an opportunity to see what college has to offer. In doing so, we promote a college-going mindset and an environment that nurtures a love for learning. We want people to see that college is for everyone and that they have a place on Goshen's campus. When you give people an opportunity to connect, they thrive. In allowing Goshen students and community members to work together as part of a whole, we seek to foster partnerships, service, and learning experiences that enrich all parties involved. CCE provides an outlet for students to ignite their passions. Through community-engaged learning and volunteer opportunities, students get the platform they need to put their values into action. Individually, we are strong, but together, we can enrich and enhance our Elkhart County community for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back to Globe News Election Edition. My name is Kate Boddicker.
And I'm Alyssa McDonald.
We've had a few races called already. Alyssa, take us through some of those called elections.
Thanks, Kate. We've got a couple of elections to look at. First, the Indiana U.S. Senate seat was easily taken by Republican candidate Jim Banks. He brought in 1,222,938 votes, putting him up over 300,000 votes than Democrat candidate Valerie McCormick, who came in with 779,520 votes. Now looking at the running for Indiana governor, Republican candidate Mike Braun pulled away with 1,157,844 votes. Democratic candidate Jennifer McCormick came up close, but not enough, with 851,125 votes. The U.S. representative for District 2 was called, with the winner being Republican candidate Rudy Yakam. He pulled away with 47,919 votes, miles ahead of Democratic candidate Lori Camp, who had just 13,020.
Thanks, Alyssa, for that first look at the results. According to the Indiana Election Division, nearly 1.5 million Hoosiers cast their ballots early. With such a large number of early voters, we sent Joey Paternostro to the polls to see how busy they were and how smoothly things were going.
Thanks, Kate. I took a visit to voting locations this morning to check out what the atmosphere was like. Emotions range from voters unhappy about their wait to people excited about how fast they finished. I saw it all. First Presbyterian Church, located on East Lincoln Avenue in Goshen, was my first stop. I was there from 8:30 to 9:30 and saw no lines. With 5 poll workers taking care of everyone that came through the double doors, voters were in and out in no time at all. The only reason there was a wait is if you had to register. I went back around 4:30 p.m. to see if the pace picked up. The woman at the door told me it never changed. This fact certainly makes some early voters unhappy as they waited for hours. I know a little about unhappy voting. On Saturday, I took a drive down to Middlebury Brethren Church to cast my ballot. I waited 4.5 hours from the time I got in line to the time I pressed submit. When I stopped by today, voters told me they waited an hour and 20 minutes. The second place I took a look at today was Maple City Chapel, located at Lincoln Way East in Goshen. They were the complete opposite of First Presbyterian, as there was at least a 50-minute wait. I was there from 10 to 11. Voters had to wait in 2 separate lines, one to get your ballot and then a second to cast your vote. For Globe News, I'm Joey Paternostro. Alyssa and Kate, back to you.
Thank you, Joey, for giving us that insight of this morning's events.
Let's keep it here with some more election results. In the race for Attorney General, the election is called with the Republican candidate Todd Rokita pulling away with the win with 1,249,508 votes.
Thank you, Kate. We'll keep watching the polls as the show continues and keep you updated on any changes. And this election season has brought countless issues up and front, from the economy to immigration and abortion access. But what issues are Elkhart County residents focusing on? We sent Liliana Herrera to a polling location to ask voters what issues they think are most important.
Thanks, Alyssa. I'm at one of the early voting locations in downtown Goshen, the First Presbyterian Church, and I'll be asking voters what their issues are or their concerns for this election.
Well, as a woman, you can imagine a plethora of concerns. My body, my choice. You know, I have a child who kind of needs his mom around. I have a lot of health concerns and issues as well.
I'm just concerned that our country's going to go one of 2 ways, and just worried about what's going to happen, but it's in God's hands.
I want this election to be a fair, honest election. I hope the people who are running for it are honest, and I hope this country becomes more secure in the future.
For the economy, for immigration, and that type of stuff.
I think that illegal immigration is a big concern. The border, the economy is at the worst it's been in a very long time. I'm personally trying to buy a house, and it's been increasingly hard. Something else that I think the big picture is our democracy and our republic, our constitutional republic. It's under fire and it's under attack, and I think that it's really important for everyone to be going out and voting. Specifically this election.
I think my biggest issue would be the economy. That would be it.
Really just making sure that people get out and that they were well informed, and making sure that they get out and vote and voice their opinion was my biggest thing.
Because I'm an American that was living near Donbass in Ukraine for 3 years, that's my main issue. But other than that, just, making sure everything on foreign relations stays sane. That's my main issue.
Reporting for Globe News, I'm Liliana Herrera. Alyssa, Kate, back to you.
Thanks, Lily. Alyssa, I'm not surprised that the economy and immigration seem to be big topics of focus with the current state of the housing market across the country and here in Indiana.
You're absolutely right, Kate. According to the Indiana Department of Workforce Development, the unemployment rate in September was 4.3%, which is just above the national average, which is currently 4.1%.
Up next, we'll have more election results, and Alyssa sat down with Chandler Buckfeller, who worked at the polls today. This is Globe News Election Edition.
At Goshen College, we make sure that community doesn't stop on campus. That's why our Center for Community Engagement make it a point to reach out to not only our students, but students in the greater Elkhart community.
So many times people think of summer camp as being like a summer learning, and I really see it as lifelong learning.
CCE is one of the jewels on campus.
We try to work very hard to introduce them things right now, rather than them getting about 5 to 10 years and them thinking about it then.
It's just a good way to learn, but also have a fun activity to do. Goshen College is a very welcoming place that is open to anyone. You can try a lot of things here, and you can enjoy them with other people.
I always hear a lot about how kids are on their phones or kids have changed from a long time ago. So I think this is a perfect opportunity, having these camps and having so many resources that this camp offers.
I've heard some of my friends say great things about it. It's a new experience, and there's plenty of different camps.
I think that's really important that they have a voice and a choice in the things that they're learning about during the summer.
I know how hard the Center for Community Engagement works to bring people to this campus, especially in the sense of diversity. I believe in that mission, and I think it's important what they're doing.
We want to really mine the gold that's here in our community. And so if the community matches up with the college and there's this continual partnership, it goes both ways.
To be able to see themselves on campus and to see the campus itself, the opportunities that are here, showing students how a community can be compassionate and learn together, respect each other. It's always been the environment.
The Center for Community Engagement is allowing students and the youth to explore different avenues. I think this is a perfect opportunity to invest in them and make sure that they are becoming those lifelong and passionate learners that we want.
Do you dream of a place to belong, to begin your journey, and to believe in something bigger than yourself? A place where you aren't lost in the crowd, but are part of the team. Communication professionals are in high demand, and Goshen College will give you the tools and hands-on experience to transform your passions into a rewarding career. Begin your journey in journalism and be an agent of change at the best college newspaper in the state of Indiana, The Record. Begin a filmmaking profession with 5 Core Media and work on Emmy-winning productions that propel graduates to Hollywood and beyond, and take our Semester in LA program to get a jump start in the industry. Spark your passion as a public relations major, one of the fastest growing professions in the country. Begin a rewarding broadcasting career at 91.1 The Globe, the best college radio station in the nation. Be a DJ, host TV shows, and broadcast live sports. Believe in yourself and make it possible at Goshen College.
Welcome back to Globe News Election Edition. My name is Alyssa McDonald.
And I'm Kate Boddicker.
During the break, we did get some updated poll numbers, so let's take a look at those. Now, we're still monitoring the local races of Elkhart County, but here are the races that we are going to look at. First is the Indiana House of Representatives in District 21, which includes Wakarusa, Napanee, parts of Mishawaka, Osceola, and Elkhart. There's incumbent Republican Timothy Wesco, who's been in office since 2010, and Libertarian Melissa Kaufman, so we can assume that he is likely to remain in office. Looking even more local, there are 3 at-large seats open for the county council. Candidates include several incumbents, such as Republican Adam Bujalski, Republican Stephen Clark, Republican Thomas Stump, and some new faces in Democrat Kevin Peters and Democrat Ralph Spellbring. There's a lot of school board election seats open all over the county. First, for the Elkhart Community Schools at-large seat, you have Eric Ivory and Anna M. Vondervellen. Staying with Elkhart Community Schools, an at-large seat for District D, it's between Daisy Davis and Marvin T. Pace Sr. The Goshen Community Schools School Board in District 2 has only 1 seat, and it's between Brandon Quint Miller and Jimmy Vung Srun. Goshen Community Schools Board District 4 has 1 seat open between Keith Goodman, Linda S. Hartman, and Lisa H. Liederock. 2 seats are open for the Concord Community School Board. Candidates are Tim Coons, Stacey McDowell, and Tim Yoder. Looking finally at the Wauny Community Schools School Board at large, there's 2 seats available between Christina Eshelman, Sean C. Johnson, and David R. Kaufman. And lastly, for Middlebury Community Schools School Board District B, you have Cindy Statler Nisley and Michael E. Mike Varner.
Thanks, Alyssa. Earlier today, you got to sit down with Chandler Buckfeller, a volunteer who worked at the polls today. So let's take a look at what he had to say about his experience.
Thanks, Kate. I'm here with Chandler Buckfeller, who volunteered to work the polls today. Chandler, thank you for coming to chat with me today.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, I have to ask, what actually made you want to go volunteer at the polls today?
Yeah, it seemed like a great way to get involved in a way beyond what I've done before, which has primarily just been voting. And it was a good way to work out my election-related anxiety in a way that was actually productive for my community.
And what is the process actually like, applying to work at one of these polling locations?
A lot simpler than you might think. I just reached out to the county election office, and they connected with the parties, the political parties, and essentially they have a process whereby they review candidates and got the approval, I think, within 3-4 days after I had sent my name in. So.
And take me through your day. I know it's been a really long day for you, so take me from start A to B. What did they have you doing all day today?
Yeah, so we arrived at the polling place at 5 a.m. this morning, so that polls could open at 6. So we got all of the voting machines and the DS200, which is the machine that actually counts the ballots, powered up and ready to go. From there, I spent the whole day kind of floating around the room, basically making sure that folks could use the machines without that being a barrier to them getting their ballots in. So oftentimes, folks who are maybe less familiar with technology would run into things that for some of us might seem really straightforward. How do I advance to the next screen? How do I make the text bigger? It can seem more intuitive for some of us, but those were a lot of the questions that I was answering today.
And how would you rate your experience? Would you go back and volunteer again?
Absolutely. No, it was a really great experience. Got to learn a lot more about the process than I was even expecting, along with learning about a number of the ways in which our system just works really well. The system is complicated at certain points because it needs to be, but at the end of the day, it does what it is designed to do, and that is carries the voice of the people to our officials.
Well, Chandler, thank you so much again for joining me. I know it's been a late night, but I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to be here.
Thanks, Alyssa. It's really great to learn more about the people working the polls. I feel as though they're often overlooked.
Yeah, and I was honestly really shocked when Chandler said that he was going to work the polls. I'd never really thought about, how we actually run the elections before this point. And then he had mentioned that he was going to work them. So I got really interested, and I think that conversation really shined a light on some of those behind-the-scenes players.
We've got some more numbers to get to now. We still have yet to receive any local race information, but we will run through the called races that we previously mentioned. The Indiana U.S. Senate seat was easily taken by Republican candidate Jim Banks. He brought in 1,220,938 votes, putting him over the 300,000 votes of the Democratic candidate Valerie McRae, who came in with 779,520 votes. Now looking at running for Indiana governor, Republican candidate Mike Braun pulled away with 1,157,844 votes. Democratic candidate Jennifer McCormick came up close, but not enough, with 851,125 votes. For the U.S. Representative for District 2, that was called with the winner being Republican candidate Rudy Yoakum. He pulled away with 47,919 votes, miles ahead of Democratic candidate Lori Camp, who had just 13,020.
After the break, we'll have your final election updates for the night as we wrap up. You're watching Globe News Election Edition.
Do you dream of a place to belong, to begin your journey, and to believe in something bigger than yourself? A place where you aren't lost in the crowd, but are part of the team. Communication professionals are in high demand, and Goshen College will give you the tools and hands-on experience to transform your passions into a rewarding career. Begin your journey in journalism and be an agent of change at the best college newspaper in the state of Indiana, The Record. Begin a filmmaking profession with 5 Core Media and work on Emmy-winning productions that propel graduates to Hollywood and beyond. And take our Semester in LA program to get a jump start in the industry. Spark your passion as a public relations major, one of the fastest growing professions in the country. Begin a rewarding broadcasting career at 91.1 The Globe, the best college radio station in the nation. Be a DJ, host TV shows, and broadcast live sports. Believe in yourself and make it possible at Goshen College.
Hi, my name is Sunitha Millsaps. I am the Executive Director for the Center for Community Engagement here at Goshen College. At Goshen College, we equip our students for the future. We believe in the power of education. We believe in creating community. Our Center for Community Engagement bases itself on 3 core values. These values include a college-going mindset, reciprocal partnerships, and community-engaged learning. These promote meaningful experiences between students, faculty, and members of the community. Through our summer camps, we give young students an opportunity to see what college has to offer. In doing so, we promote a college-going mindset and an environment that nurtures a love for learning. We want people to see that college is for everyone and that they have a place on Goshen's campus. When you give people an opportunity to connect, they thrive. In allowing Goshen students and community members to work together as part of a whole, we seek to foster partnerships, service, and learning experiences that enrich all parties involved. CCE provides an outlet for students to ignite their passions. Through community-engaged learning and volunteer opportunities, students get the platform they need to put their values into action. Individually, we are strong, but together, we can enrich and enhance our Elkhart County community for a better tomorrow.
back to the Globe News Election Edition.
We've got a few more races to cover before we sign off for the night.
Taking a last look at the races that have been called, the Indiana U.S. Senate seat was taken by Republican candidate Jim Banks. He brought in 1,220,938 votes, putting him over Democratic candidate Valerie McRae, who came up with 779,520 votes. Now looking at the running for Indiana governor, Republican candidate Mike Braun pulled away with 1,157,844 votes. Democratic candidate Jennifer McCormick came up close with 851,125 votes.
The U.S. Representative for District 2 was called, with Republican candidate Rudy Yacom being named the winner. He pulled away with 47,919 votes, miles ahead of Democratic candidate Lori Camp, who just had 13,020.
And lastly, in the race for Attorney General, the election is called, with Republican candidate Todd Rokita pulling away to win with 1,249,508 votes.
And that is going to do it for this special live coverage of Globe News Election Edition. Thank you for tuning in for the last 30 minutes.
Don't forget to check out The Globe on all our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, and X at 911 The Globe.
And you can also find us on the internet at globeradio.org and on the App Store for iOS and Android with the Globe Radio app, so you don't miss any Globe content while you're on the go.
From inside the Globe studios on election night, for everyone behind the scenes that made this live show possible, my name's Kate Boddicker.
And my name is Alyssa McDonald. Thanks for watching.